Hi everyone, and welcome to Diva Devil Angel Podcast. I want to welcome everyone and also welcome Holly, my good friend Holly. Hi Holly.
Hello.
We were just talking before the podcast and we're trying to figure out how long we knew each other. And I think it's like 2008. Because I remember Braden was like Dennis the Menace.
Yes,
he was 5 years old,
yes,
and now
was.
he's 22. So that's crazy. I can't believe how fast time goes.
No, listen, no. I was 12 when I met her. I
Yeah,
don't know what
you
she's
go.
talking about.
Yeah, I was probably a lot younger.
I'm not going to age me on your show.
No,
You're
I'm not going to
crazy.
age you. I'm not going to age you. Of course not. So Holly is here tonight to talk about dating.
Yay.
Now, she's a little bit younger than me. Well, probably 10 years or so younger. But I think that you probably deal with the same things that I deal with in terms of dating. So we're going to jump right in to dating. Dating in 40s and 50s and how exciting it is. So I want to ask you, we're going to just go to the good stuff first. What was your worst dating experience?
Oh, there have been so
I know you have many.
Yeah, there have been so many. Probably my worst was I had been dating somebody for a little bit, and he told me don't make any Valentine's Day plans, so I didn't. And the day came, and I got all dressed, and I was cute and looking good and had on my heels, and he pulled up, and I thought we were going to a nice restaurant and maybe doing some drinks, and he ended up taking me to McDonald's on Valentine's Day. Yeah. And not to shade McDonald's because, you know, if that's your thing.
You can use a good burger every now and then, but McDonald's.
I would have dressed so differently.
What did he dress like?
Very cash.
McDonald's
Very
attire.
cash.
Come on, when he saw you and you looking so hot, he took you to McDonald's. Like, that's ridiculous.
He didn't get any.
Fries?
Yeah, fries. He didn't get any fries
with his meal? Oh my gosh. I know. I've had so many bad dating experiences too. I can't even.
What was your worst?
Oh my gosh. What was my worst? Oh my God, there's been so many. Well, I mean, I was married forever, so I was married for 30 years, and then, so I just really started dating like 2 years ago. Oh my gosh, I don't know about my worst, just like weird people.
Yeah.
Like that's a thing I feel like, and not to just dating sites, but like I can't deal with dating sites and like just creepy guys and girls too, and women too. I'm not saying women aren't creepy on dating sites, but it's just, you just can't handle it.
I can't do it. I feel like dating sites, I've tried, but it feels like you're somebody's pen pal more than somebody really trying to like see you and get to know you. I don't want to write stories back and forth.
I know. It's like, what'd you have for breakfast?
Right.
What's your favorite color? Like, who cares?
Yeah.
What I started doing when I was on dating sites is just giving them a whole introductory paragraph. I'm like, I don't like the back and forth questions. Like,
oh, well, dang.
This is all about me. My favorite color is red. My birthday's October 15th. Like everything that I had been asked in the past.
Sure.
I just summarized, and I'm like, here's my info. Why don't you do the same thing, and we could cut to like all the back and forth. What'd you eat for breakfast? Because I don't eat breakfast.
How'd that work out for you?
It's so stupid. Well, obviously I'm not on dating sites anymore, so I don't think it really worked out all that well. But it's just like, who cares what you had for breakfast? I know it's probably a nice thing to ask, but I don't understand why guys are so like worried about what you have for breakfast.
I don't know if that's. I think they have a hard
It's just like
time.
a welcoming thing.
Yeah,
or?
I think it's kind of like the foot in the door. Like, can we have a morning conversation?
Yeah.
And
I know you don't like mornings. You would never have a morning conversation with anyone. I already
10
know
a.m.
that.
10 a.m.
Yeah, I already know that. You're definitely not.
I think it's like a foot in the door thing. For me personally, the people who know me and know that I don't do mornings, I am perfectly content with the good morning, beautiful text and leaving it at that.
That's like a thing, right? Yeah.
Because now I'm smiling. I'm not even thinking about food. So.
I love it. Well, I was going over this with you a little bit before, so I printed some stuff out today. You were. These just crack me up, some of the things that I Googled and researched. Questions to ask your potential daters. But honestly, I feel like when you're older, vintage, I like to call myself, the questions that you asked when you were 20 are not obviously the same of what questions you would ask now, So I thought that these were, like, kind of interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, so, like, maybe we could talk a little bit about them and, like, the audience can maybe relate to them or not. Some things that you shouldn't talk about. Should you talk about divorce? Do you think that's a topic you should talk about if you were divorced or in a long-term relationship with, like, your potential person? And when do you feel that needs to come in?
That's interesting because
Yeah.
I've just recently had this conversation with my mom because I had met someone who was divorced, and I had said to her, like, I kind of want to know why it didn't work out. And she's like, you're not allowed to ask that question. And I was like, why? I know they're not going to give you the full answer, and they're going to give you a very biased answer, but I think if you're comfortable enough with the person, you should be able to ask them.
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
why did you get divorced? And in some instances, it's a very blatant reason. In some instances, it's not. So you at least give that person the opportunity to say their piece.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I know what's big nowadays, too, with, having, like, for me, a long-term marriage and, other relationships or whatever, they kind of want to know, like, well, what happened?
Yeah.
Like, well, what happened to your marriage? And, like, it's like you don't know whether to share that right away or not.
Just
like,
say you died.
shit.
Just say you died. That makes it really easy and no more questions because the person's going to feel bad.
That is true. That's why I love you. I probably wouldn't do that, though. That's just me.
I'm not making light of death. I'm just saying it makes the situation easier.
It does make it easier. And sometimes, like, I'm an open book. And I know you know that about me.
Absolutely.
And so I'm working towards being a little bit more, what's the word? Like, reserved in terms of, like, telling everybody everything, And I know we're so opposite that way.
You can't even do that.
I know, but I'm trying.
If you tried to do that, it would seem so unauthentic.
I know. For me to, like, not have my mouth moving is kind of impossible, but I know that's a big difference with us. I know that you're much more guarded and, you have given me great advice. You definitely have. I mean, you can be very honest.
Yes.
Which I think is a good thing, and I think even in the last 2 years I've learned to take criticism, and dating and advice because I didn't do it for so long. I don't know what it's like to be in a relationship with someone. Really, because it's been so long with the same person.
Yeah.
So.
And it's so different.
You have some rules, though.
I have a lot of rules.
I know you have a lot of rules. Oh, we should have typed out your rules. I think we could have, like, had a big list of all these rules on dating and what you should and shouldn't do.
And I stick by them because I think everybody needs to have principle. If you don't have principle, then why are you dating?
Mm-hmm.
You can't just be out here just...
Do you think sometimes you're too tough?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna lie, I am, but that's a product of trauma. I've been in some really fucked up situations, and while I don't necessarily want to carry that baggage, I do. And it's unfortunate that people that I meet or encounter or want to experience something with have to deal with that, but I try very hard to be aware that I am like that. So
how do you get rid of those triggers that maybe have triggered you from past relationships? I mean, that's a hard thing to not bring that into a new relationship.
Yeah.
It's hard.
I count on my friends to tell me I'm crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, like I will call people 7 a.m., 8 o'clock at night. I'm like, listen, girl, this is what's happening. Am I crazy? And they'll be like, okay, look, I need you to calm down because you're bugging out. That's all it takes is having a very supportive sister circle. I think if you have that as a woman and you're dating now, and you've had some very traumatic experiences in your life, it's beneficial, for sure.
It is.
You have a huge support system.
I do. I'm very blessed and lucky for that. I mean, a lot of people don't agree with a lot of things that I do, but... I have to, like, learn to pretty much live for myself.
Yeah.
And respect myself. And that's taken a long time, you know? And sometimes I think it takes time
Yeah.
to like build yourself up again and get yourself back out there in this dating world. That what if that's what you really even want to call it? I don't even, you know. We're not here to like, you know, like we said, diss dating, or it's a wonderful thing, you know.
It is.
If you find somebody to share your life with,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just difficult to find that person.
It's so hard.
It really is.
These streets are not for the weak.
These streets, I love that.
They are
These
not.
streets are not for the weak. That's for sure. That's for sure. So, one of the things that I Googled today and did some research on is to ask yourself certain questions. And I feel like you do this.
I do this.
I know. I feel like these are the questions that you would ask, and then you would say it, and I'd be like, oh, I would never think about asking that, but it's true. And I think, like I alluded to before, being 50 and older, you know, I'm in a different situation.
Absolutely.
Like a lot of times, you know, even men my age, like obviously maybe have been married before, have kids, you know, they have businesses, and so it's a whole different different dynamic. So I guess what you should ask yourself too, if you're looking for a relationship, is what do I want this time around? Do you want another marriage, a committed relationship, or something else entirely? I think it's important to ask yourself that. What kind of partner is going to make me happy? I thought that was something, you know. Yeah. Because if you're happy, now I know we talked about this one before, have I done the work to grow myself so I know what I contributed to the breakup of my last relationship and how am I better? So
that's a big
expand
one.
On that.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That's a pretty deep, I would say.
Yeah.
You know?
Again, it really depends on where you're at. Like if you have to have a sit-down conversation with yourself. Am I dating for a purpose or am I dating just to have fun? And once you come to the conclusion of what you're doing is kind of how you can steer that question. You have to look at how you contribute to either the downfall or demise of the last person you were with. And that's extremely hard to do internally because you immediately want to point and be like, well, they did this they said that and they made me feel like this. But why did that affect you like that? Because while you can't control someone, you can control your own emotions about it. So if it made you feel a type of way, it's on you to figure out why.
Yeah. So once you figure that out,
then you know what your flaws are.
Yeah, that's a hard thing.
So when somebody says to you, why are you single? You're like, because I got all these problems.
Because I got all these flaws that we can't seem to work out. I know.
Right.
It's just so complicated.
It is.
And, you know, sometimes you even think, oh, I just want to be by myself.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm learning to be more by myself. I know you love to be by yourself.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. We kind of talked about this a little bit before. Like, I can't even go out to eat by myself. Like, I can't sit in a restaurant by myself. Like, I don't even like driving by myself.
Love it.
I
love all of it.
I hope I could get there one day.
Long drives to the beach and sitting there for the day by myself, I'm here for that.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did you get there?
I got sick of people.
Well, that's honest. I love her honesty.
No. You really have to get to a point where you have to be happy with yourself. And for me, that meant taking myself out on dates and learning what I liked so that when somebody would say to me, what do you want to do today? My response is, well, what do you want to do today? Because
whatever you want to do.
I mean, you asked, shoot, I'm going to tell you. I'm not doing that coy, playful thing anymore. Because I know what I like and what I want.
You know what you want. That's great. You're in a really good place that way.
Yes and no. Yes and no.
So what's the negative?
The negative is I've been alone too long. So I'm very set in certain behaviors. So now when I'm trying to date or dating someone, I'm not as cognizant of their feelings because I'm so wrapped up in what I got going on. It comes off as standoffish or maybe dismissive, and that's not the intent. So it's hard to navigate.
You really take accountability for everything you do. Like,
Absolutely.
I really admire that, Holly.
Absolutely.
I really do. You know, we talk about strength a lot, and you know, I'll get there one day.
You will.
I don't know. One day I'll get there. One day I'll be able to go to McDonald's by myself.
Girl,
We're all
I'm
picking
not
up. We keep going to
going.
McDonald's.
I'll be having flashbacks.
Yeah,
I drive
yeah.
right past McDonald's.
We're having flashbacks of the worst date ever, right? Oh my gosh. But yeah, it was just interesting and like looking at some of this stuff, and it's just like you just take everything for granted. You meet somebody and you hope it works. I mean, is this stuff even
Everybody's
relevant?
a freaking expert now on
Yeah.
dating. And most of the people who write these articles are married. So tell me how they know anything about
That's
dating
true
nowadays.
too. And I'm thinking as I'm like looking at them, I'm like, who like looks over
Nobody.
this and
Nobody.
Just I guess ultimately just be yourself. you
Yeah.
know? But we do have some things to not. Where is it? To not. We have to talk about the questions that you should never ask on a first date. So I'm just gonna read them because some of them are.
How much
really,
do you weigh?
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, don't ever
that's
ask
not
that.
good.
Don't
That's
ask
not-
a woman
Yeah,
that.
don't ask ever.
And if
I
it
feel
looks like I lied about my age, just go with it. Don't ask me what my real age is.
That's right. Oh my gosh, who would ever ask how much you? Oh my gosh.
Child.
Yeah.
Oh my lord.
Oh, I don't like that one. Okay, so these are the top 10. Why did your last relationship end?
Because I hated that motherfucker. I mean, I couldn't stand looking at him. He breathed out loud, and I was done. Like, what else is there to say?
Right. He actually breathed.
He held his fork like a toddler. I mean,
You've had a lot of those. Oh my god, you have had so many of the fork. And what did the other guy do?
Girl.
Like, did he his laugh? It was his.
Oh, it was his laugh.
Yeah, what was his laugh? It was bad.
It was really bad.
Yeah, you couldn't get past
can't
the laugh.
even. I couldn't.
I know. There's some things you can't negotiate. Yeah. Okay, so why did your last relationship end? Why are you still single?
Because I want to be.
Ugh. I
That's
hate
a
that
dumb
question.
It's a red flag question for me.
Do you think it, and why would it be
Yeah.
red flag, do you think?
If somebody's asking me why I'm single, it kind of is like, well, would you be sitting here if I wasn't?
Right.
Like
Like, what do
doesn't
they
make
want to
sense.
gain from that?
Right.
From knowing why are you still single? You know?
Are you? If you are asking me what my flaws are, ask me that. But
Mhm.
that's very. I don't like.
Yeah,
the way
I don't like that. It's a bad approach.
Mm.
But I have gotten that question a lot, which I'm sure you have too.
Mhm.
We kind of talked about this too. Where are you really from?
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that.
No.
Like, that is just ridiculous. I
Yeah.
don't like that at all. Like,
Don't ask me my ethnicity. Either.
Right.
That's annoying.
Exactly. Like, I feel like, and a friend of mine goes through the same thing too. If, she says, I'm from New York. Well, where are you really from? Well, New York.
Right.
It's just, some people are so socially inept. Seriously. How many people have you slept with? Like, I'm not asking. I'm just saying that's the question. Is it appropriate to ask?
No.
That? Never.
So
Like,
the
you
body
don't ever
count
ask that.
conversation is
Yeah.
never something you could have because one, we're at the age, unless you've been married for 30 years, you don't even know your number,
Right.
really, honestly, because nobody's like, one, okay.
Right, all their
it's
names
not,
down, yeah.
and it's only going to be awkward. Like, if I
Yeah.
give you a number, you're going to think I'm lying.
Right.
You're giving me a number, and I'm like, so,
Yeah.
it's dumb. Like, don't.
Did you add the numbers in the beginning of that number? Like, wait, how many people? Yeah, it's probably not a good thing to
No,
even
just show me your paperwork that says you are STD free,
Yes.
and then we can have a conversation.
Absolutely, that is definitely important. Yeah, well, we can skip that.
I don't
I'm
give
sure
a shit
people
about
have
them other
conversations
bitches.
about that.
Because I'm still gonna turn you out.
That's right, girlfriend. Oh, we're getting gangster now.
Oh
Another bad question.
Oh.
How much money do you make? Like, who would be rude enough to ask that? But I'm sure there's people out there.
That's a whole. I can't with that question.
I know. That's so ridiculous. Where do you see this relationship heading? I would feel like a woman would ask a man that. A man would never ask a woman that. Do
No.
you agree?
Like, no. I know some simps who would ask that question. Yeah. I see it heading out my door if you ask that question, because that's a
She's
dumb
tough.
question.
She's tough, this one. That's why she's my friend.
Ask me what I want to eat for dinner. Don't
Yeah.
ask me any of these questions.
I know, but these are important questions.
To
according
whom?
to Google research, I don't know. What was your most embarrassing moment? I think that's a fair question. That's just like a topic of conversation that you could talk about. That's not. Do you think that's stupid?
It is.
Oh,
Because now you're going to have that picture in your mind.
Oh.
Whatever they tell you,
that's true too.
especially if it's something gross,
Yeah.
you're going to be like, oh.
Yeah, that's true. And I know you would never get that out of your head.
No.
I can do it better than you. I can get things out of my head.
It's gonna stick.
Yes.
Don't ask.
Yes. Do you want kids? I mean,
No.
I think for us, that's we're beyond.
You
that.
ask that question when you're in a committed situation.
Yeah. Not first date.
No.
These are questions that people, I guess, ask on first dates. Are you attracted to me? Like, that's so weird. Do you like me?
This is a question that a weird dude would ask.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've
You're
had
attracted
somebody
to me.
ask you that question.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
I
And he
have
was
had
weird.
people. Most of them are. No. Oh, yeah. Yes. Yeah. Are you into me? Are you that, like, you know,
Yes.
I wouldn't be talking to you if I wasn't.
Right.
You know? I mean, I think that's just a stupid question. And then the last one cracks me up is who's your hot friend?
My hot friend is Kelly.
My hot friend is Holly.
I have her number. You're more than welcome to hit me up, and I will share it after perusing your profile.
Like, oh,
I will
yes.
vet you first.
I was gonna say getting drug screened. What else?
Background check.
Background check. You can do it all. Which of
I'm
course,
running.
I don't
I'm
do
running
any.
them.
I don't
I'm
do
running
any of
them.
that.
I'm doing it. I'm putting you in the system, and I'm running.
Put me in the system.
Yeah, and I won't even
Put me
tell
in the
you
system.
I've
I'm too
done
trusting. That's the problem. Like.
No.
I think it's a good thing, but it's mostly bad in this world. Like, I really have to work on not being as trusting as I am.
Yeah, because
and
I
that's
keep
a sad
telling
thing.
you, you're gonna end up chaining somebody's
I
water heater in their
know.
basement, and I'm not gonna be able to find you because you'll have your phone turned off, and I can't ping it.
know.
I need you to do
That's
better.
a visual.
I need you to do
I'm
better.
gonna do better.
People is out here snatching bodies, Kel.
I know. It's so scary. And that's another thing too. How do you know somebody? You don't. You don't know.
Don't let them pick you up.
Yeah.
Not for the first few times. Don't let them know where you live. I had somebody meet me at the corner store around the corner from my house for months because I wouldn't let them know where I lived. I was like, oh yeah, I'll meet you at the corner store, and I would walk there and wait for him out front of the corner store. It kind of felt slightly like prostitute-y, but at the same time, I really wasn't comfortable with him knowing where I lived. Yes, I was like, man, this is
See, I
gonna
don't
have to
think of
work.
that.
My
And
neighbors
like,
are
I made a
thinking
lot
I'm
of
hooker.
mistakes with that, you know, with just being so trusting. Yeah, so I have to definitely, that's something that I definitely have to work on, for sure. So what else? What else? I mean, are we just gonna date for the rest of our lives? And you know, no.
I'm trying to be somebody's wife.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I date with a purpose.
She dates with a purpose.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. I don't even know what the purpose is, really. Like, what's the purpose? You want to be married again, do you think?
I was never married. So
That's right,
yes,
I
I
was
would
married.
like to be married.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not so sure about that, but we'll see.
You have to be
Yeah.
ready though.
Yeah.
So it's all about what you want
Yeah.
and when you're ready. So if you're in a space where dating for you is fun right now, work with that. It can be a blast.
It could be.
Yeah.
It could be for sure. All right. Is there anything else we want to talk about?
You tell me.
Oh my
It's
gosh,
your
we
show.
can go on and on forever. I feel
I
like.
feel like we could.
So in summary, we're just going to go over a few things that we kind of came up with in terms of dating and what we think is important when you start to date someone.
Sure.
So, so Holly, do you want to start? Like the first one? What do you think?
Number one, shoot your shot. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there, male or female. I typically am not the type of person to shoot my shot, but I will give subtle hints that you should shoot yours.
See, I'm so bad at that. We have to talk about that. How do I do that?
No, it's simple. It's really easy, but you gotta put yourself out there. If you want to be dating, you can't be on your couch every night. Like, you need to be out of your house. So get out of your house. If you're confident with approaching people, do so. If you're not, be the girl at the bar who bats her eyelashes and somebody will buy you a drink. I'm sure.
Yeah, I like that. I would never do it, but I like that.
You have the eyelashes
I have the
for it.
eyelashes for it. Of course. So no, I like that. That's a really good one to start it off with. Next one, we were talking about ask questions if you want to know.
Yeah.
I guess you can explain this a little better.
Yeah. That goes back to the finding out if the person is the person you want to be talking to. Like, be direct in your questions. Be direct in your answers if you're being asked questions. Don't don't be coy. Like, at this point, we're all over 30. Well, most of the people probably watching this are over 30.
Yeah.
Grown-up people doing grown-up stuff. So answer the questions. And if you're not comfortable with answering a question, you definitely have to be in a space where you can say to the person, I'm not comfortable with this yet to answer that question. So ask your questions. Get to know people. You don't want to be involved in something and not know somebody fully. But don't ask those questions we said don't ask.
Yeah. Why are you single?
Yeah.
Why are you single? Sorry, that was a bad man impression.
That was really bad.
Why are you single?
It's okay.
Forget it. We'll skip that. I think this is really important too, and I know Holly came up with this, but is definitely be authentic, be your real self. And we were kind of talking about that, like the catfishing part. I never understood the catfishing because if you're interested in someone and you're conversing back and forth, you eventually want to meet that person.
Sure.
So you're going to show up thinking that you look like the person that you describe.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I just don't get that.
Catfishing, I will never understand it. It's a waste of time and it's for people who don't have lives. But if you're doing it, yeah, I said that about you. The other thing too is like the honeymoon period. Like when we're talking about be authentic, like everybody in like that first 90 days of getting to know someone like puts their best face forward. Try to avoid that.
Yes.
Just
be real from the beginning.
Be who you are.
Yep.
Like if you had a crappy day, don't answer the phone and be like, hi. Be like, today was terrible. I can't talk today. Don't.
Because it will eventually catch up if you're not your real self.
Yeah.
In that 90-day period or whatever the period is to get to know somebody.
Right.
They're going to eventually find out how you are. So why would you fake it from the beginning? Like, that's too much work. Too much energy, too much work. Just, I feel like if you are yourself and your real authentic self, and if someone doesn't like you, that's their problem.
Yeah. Next.
Next. Okay, next. Okay. Yeah. I mean, don't you agree? Like, no one has time for that.
Hell yeah.
Prioritize yourself. This is a good one. And I know that you are good at this.
You are too, though.
Do you think?
Yeah. Because I think when you're in a space where you don't want to be bothered, you're not.
That's true.
I've seen you do it.
That's true.
Give
I
yourself
can get
some
myself
credit.
into a little. Yeah, that is true. I'm trying to prioritize myself better, and sometimes I do things that I don't think about myself. I just randomly do it, and then I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. I don't think sometimes before I act, so that can be dangerous. You know?
Unless you're robbing banks, which I know you're not.
No. Have you seen me robbing a bank? Oh my god.
I mean, you don't have an OnlyFans page, do you?
No.
Okay,
not
then
yet.
we're good.
Anyway, no, just kidding. We were talking before about like being safe and I'm just, it's so funny, like, I think I'm oblivious. I'm not making myself sound really good here, but I feel like sometimes I'm oblivious to my surroundings. You know, like if I go out with someone, I don't really know, like I see the good in everyone.
Yeah.
And,
I wish I was more like you in that
well,
aspect.
I think it's bad in a sense too, because then I think everybody's good until they're not. And I, like, maybe don't see the dangerous situations that are right in front of me.
I've been out with Kelly. She has a lot of fun. Probably more than I would have.
Oh my gosh, we do have a lot of fun. We do. I mean, and again, like lastly, it's all about having fun.
Yeah.
And being safe. Having fun, being yourself.
Yeah.
And shoot your shot. Like, it's definitely, I think everybody should go for it.
Yeah.
And know that if you do get rejected, it is not the end of the world. Because there's someone for everyone. Yes. And, you know, hopefully we'll find it one day.
Well, there's more women out here than men.
All
so
right,
it's
so
becoming decreasingly more...
So that's a negative note to leave.
My bad, but shoot.
Yeah, well,
I mean, shoot your shot.
Shoot your shot. Shoot your shot. Well, I want to thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Oh my god. Oh my gosh. You had to be on this podcast.
I mean...
And I'm going to invite you back too.
Oh, for sure.
Because we have a lot of topics to talk about. So thank you, Holly, for coming. And I'm so excited. And thank you guys for watching. And we'll see you next time. Bye.